One already. So we're a little late, but we are doing episode 9 of Big Brother 23. We'll just jump right to it since we kind of slacked a little bit, been a little busy, but still watched the episode, just didn't take the notes and stuff that we usually do, I guess, on time.
Right. So our episode starts right as nominations are ending. We have Brent on one side being super cocky, saying that he's not pawn material, that he knows he's the target. And on the other hand, we have Brittany doing her usual, crying in the room, going insane because she's nominated again.
It's almost like sorry, Brittany and Brent just go like they're kind of just like, I like them, but they're just like liability sometimes, you know. Is my dog distracting? Sorry.
So,
okay,
it's fine.
Dream, stop it. Okay. Well, if it's too loud, just let me know. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Viewers, you're probably gonna hear the difference, but I'm kind of tripping over Josh's voice right now because he's just woke up and he's like sounding like a robot. Like his voice is different.
I know. I'm trying to wake up, but it's too late for coffee.
All right. So because your voice is different, I didn't hear what you said about Brittany or what you just said before your dogs did a commercial.
I was just saying that like at this point, I'm just kind of like Brittany and Brent should just go like, I mean, not to be rude or anything, but just they're both just a little much. Like I feel like Brittany's gonna be the target next time, right?
No, I honestly think that people are going to stop targeting her at this point because Xavier does feel bad about her crying and all that.
True.
So it's not really working the way we thought it was. We thought people were going to get annoyed with her being like the way she is. But I think people are going to start feeling bad for her and they're going to stop using her as a pawn.
True.
Because even after nominations happen, Xavier goes into the room where Brittany is crying, and he has a little talk to her about how the house knows the plan and how Brent is the target. And even then, Brittany still refuses to believe that she's not the target. And I'm like, girl.
I feel like both Brent and Brittany have like, I feel like Brittany has like a reverse ego than Brent. Like they both have an ego, but in a different way. Like Brittany should have no reason to think that she is the one to go, yet she thinks that she is. And then Brent should have no reason to think that he's the pawn, but yet he thinks he is, if that makes any sense. Like he thinks that he's safe, she thinks that she's not safe, and it's like, no, you guys both have it wrong. It's the opposite.
Can you pause the video real quick? Can you pause recording?
Right. Today is like one of those days that we're having technical difficulties, but apparently it wasn't my voice. I think it was Adrian's headphones. So I'm fine. I sound okay.
Yeah, he sounds perfect now. My Bluetooth was just not working and he sounded like a robot.
I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so we were talking about Brittany and Brent, how they have reverse egos.
Right.
Yeah, so that's that. And then what happened? What happened after
that? So right after that, I guess a little bit things happen that like because of the edit. But the next thing that happens, she walks into the kitchen and Azal and Derek F are in the kitchen and she cries again. And I honestly think at this point, Brittany is crying to get attention because she walks into the kitchen, she's fine, and then she sees them and then she cries again. And then Derek F goes into like mom mode and he's like, stop crying, like it's gonna be all right. Like that right there, Azal and Derek F, the way that they're protecting her and feeling bad for her is honestly starting to get on my nerves. Like you're making yourself targets by doing that because you're obviously not aligning with the people that you are aligned with.
She is becoming a floater. Although I saw I'm going to stick to the word floater, but apparently there's a debate out there that says that a floater is someone who knows everything that's going on, but decides to just kind of let everybody else do things. And there's a coaster, which is someone that literally doesn't know anything that's going on and is just kind of just coasting through the game. And I'm like, I see the logic behind it, but I only know floater, so I'm going to stick with floater. So floater is what Brittany has become. I feel like she doesn't really have a read in the house. She's just a pawn. She doesn't have any strong bonds besides like Derek F. Um, there's just no more. There's not that much substance there. I mean,
Right. I
she might
mean,
turn it around, but they've already been there what, like 2 weeks, almost three. I think
and she
3 weeks
still
today,
has no
yesterday.
clue. I think she had no clue about the slaughterhouse. She had no clue about the royal flush. She has no clue about the cookout. Like she's lost. Like she has no chance at this point. Like she's
Yeah,
just
and like
gonna be.
everybody has a fandom. It's a big show, obviously. So people are gonna have their opinions on it. They might twist it and be like, "She played a magnificent game," and it's like whatever. We'll see when we get there. But I just don't see it right now. I don't see her making any strong moves yet. I don't know. She's just not impressive to me right now, unfortunately.
Right, right. I think the same way. Right after that, then we see Xavier take Brent into a room, and Xavier, once again with his cocky self, said, "Nothing about me screams pawn, nothing about my body screams pawn. My body,
Right.
I guess, makes you think that I'm dumb, but I'm smart. I'm the target." And Xavier is like, "You know what? I do not care. You are the target, but I just need to make you feel like Brittany is the target." Um,
Right.
this whole episode just is explaining what Brent is doing wrong, and the whole time it's a laughable. It's like a comedic
Yeah. Mhm.
episode because it's just
Yep.
laughing at Brent the whole time. Um,
Yeah.
again, Brent goes into like his confessional, and he's like, "I have all these people behind me," but it's funny because all the people that he names is people that
Mhm.
have gone into confessionals, and they're like, "We want Brent out,"
Right.
which is the whole time. It's hilarious to me.
Yep. Sorry, I was just making my list really quick. Yeah. No, I agree with the fact that he is just delusional. I think that was like the highlight of the episode that he. I mean, is there anything in between before the next part where after the veto is played? Was there anything else that we need to discuss? Because I really want to talk about how Brent gets all delusional about the whole alliance thing towards the end, that he thinks that he's gonna blindside Xavier. Because I'm like,
Right.
uh,
Um, just they touch a little bit on how Xavier is. I think that you had questioned me whether you thought if Xavier wasn't part of the alliance or wasn't
mhm,
feeling the alliance, but in reality, I got a different read. Xavier is fully for the cookout. Like everything that he's doing right now is
mhm,
fully for the cookout, and we did see how Azal confronts Tiffany over how they played the Wildcom competition. Let me just say this. Zara, I thought she was going to do great. She was one of my favorites. She
same,
moved down on my list. Girl, I'm ready to see you out. Like at this point,
yep,
like, what are you doing? Tiffany is the very smartest player in this game right now, and you just confronted her.
mhm,
She's going to find a way to get rid of you. Like, she's been
right.
manipulating HOHs. She's going to get rid of you. The only
Yep.
issue is, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she just solidified her spot. If the cookout stays intact with them five, I guess now six with Hannah, um, I think Azal's working her way down that list of that alliance very
And I,
quickly. Like I think she started with like top two, top three, maybe four. Now she's the last one.
right. And it makes sense because they're not even coming to her and they're like, "Hey, this is the plan."
Nope.
Like she's just a number to them at this point. And
Yep.
I think that's where Xavier started talking to Tiffany because Tiffany went to Xavier and she's like, "I don't really like how she checked me. I don't think she likes me." And Xavier is right. If the tensions between both of them don't calm down, it's gonna break this alliance because as Tiffany's gonna end up wanting to go for Azar, and it's just gonna break the alliance, honestly. So Xavier has the cookout main priority, which is good. It has good potential to make it far, but at the same time, Derek F and Azal are both part of that alliance, and I think they're going to end up breaking it. Like they're going to be the causes of the breakup of this alliance.
For sure. That leads to the good point that both Azal and Derek F are outside of the game. I'm 1,000% sure they're lovely people. They're loyal to a fault. They both are like crazy, and that's very admirable as a human being. But as a game player, sometimes that doesn't take you far. if you're lucky, that'll take you far. But that doesn't work out for everybody, and it's not working out for them because they're being super loyal to Brittany, and Brittany is a liability at this point in the game, and I feel like she is going to be a target pretty soon here. And Azal and Derek F resisting to them, like, if I win Veto, I'm gonna get her off the block and blah blah. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you? I get that she's in your team and stuff, but I'm pretty sure these teams are gonna break up. If they don't break out like next eviction, which is like in a little bit, uh, it's gonna happen soon. Like if it doesn't happen this eviction, it's definitely gonna happen after the next one. Like it doesn't go the whole game. I would be shocked if it did. So start thinking ahead. Start thinking this is not a groups thing anymore. This is more of an individual game now. So
right.
Yeah, so they're definitely the two bottom ones.
Oh yeah, for sure. So then we go into veto picks. I thought it was kind of funny how Xavier was like, I do not want Derek F or Azal to get picked for veto because they're going to put on Brittany. And then Derek F gets picked for veto. And his face was just like, fuck my life. Because
and then Azal too, right?
No, Azal doesn't get picked. The one that gets picked is Whitney, and Whitney's all excited.
That's right.
Which was good because she was part of Xavier's plan to get rid of Brent. So it kind of worked out in the favor. But the actual HOH, go ahead.
I was just going to say really quick, Whitney being on board of getting rid of Brent is perfect because and I think that's another reason why Xavier didn't put her up, because he knew that Whitney wasn't Team Brent or anything like that. Maybe people thought that they were like a duo, but Whitney is smart. She's like, I need to break that up ASAP. I do not want to be associated with Brent. And she's smart. I'm telling you, she's smart.
She hasn't done much yet, but I like this. I did like about the Whitney. Like instead of fighting for Brent, she's on board with the rest of the house, which is making her look good.
Right.
So
she's just waiting for that match. I want to call this like the season of the praying mantises. I feel like Alyssa, Tiffany, Whitney, maybe even Sarah Beth, like they're just there, like they're like just waiting for the attack. They're waiting.
Right. Because I feel like they all each have their targets, and they're like, okay, this is my turn to attack my target. Right now, we've seen
my guy that's going to protect me. Kind of thing.
And I think like Tiffany has been the one that's been controlling much of it, so she has a lot of targets apparently. But
for sure,
she's doing great. Let me tell you, she's doing great.
She is.
The actual HOH competition amused me because Derek F was like, "This is what did I call it?"
The HOH.
Yes,
Veto. Yeah, Veto.
So the veto competition, it kind of amused me because one, Brent was just all over the place. First of all, he didn't even think that he needed to win the HOH.
You've seen the competition though, right? You've seen the veto competition though, right? This one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was confused. Like you've seen it, right? They have like almost every season.
Yes,
they had a little twist on it, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a famous veto comp.
For sure. Yeah, it is. Yeah. At this point, yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought it was pretty funny how he didn't think that he needed to win this veto when in reality he did it, and he kind of like blew it because he was like a drunk after nights of drinking because he was just all over the place. It was very entertaining. He quickly found out during this veto that he was the target because they targeted him and make sure that he was out.
When Xavier like popped up to challenge him, that's when it was kind of like obvious that Xavier wanted him to not win.
Right. And but the one that amused me the most out of all of them was Derek F, because whenever he got picked for veto, he was like, oh, this is my time to get Brittany off the block. I want to get this win for my team. He gave up. Second time that he gets picked. You can't tell me that he did not give up on this comp. Like he did nothing. And I just thought it was funny because it's gonna put a target on his back because they're gonna be like, oh no, we're gonna have to carry this guy far, and he's not really good at comps. So I feel like that's gonna be like a turning point for him where that he gets a target on his back. Another thing. So right after veto, Christian ends up winning the veto, which is good for the plan because he was working alongside with Xavier as far as wanting to get him out. So he ends up winning the video, best case scenario for Xavier. So then this little cool thing, funny thing happens where Brent sees Christian and Brittany playing pool, getting along, and he thinks Veto is about to get used. So he comes up with his great elaborate plan to try to save himself and get the veto not be used. And this plan that he comes up with is the exact plan that the whole has already to get him out. So he thinks that his plan worked beautifully and that he's about to blindside the whole house. Apparently.
I'm like super curious to see how it's gonna play out on the live, because it's gonna be like so awkward for him. Like it's gonna be like, what, dude? Like you were literally the only one that thinks this.
I'm just hoping that tonight he's not aware of it, because I kind of want it to be a blindside. He was so cocky that I really do hope nobody told him he's the target. And then at live, when votes get read, I want to see if he genuinely gets shocked. If people let him know that he's a target, I feel like tonight can be a little bit different. But I'm really hoping it's a blindside.
Yeah, a great guy. Just his gameplay sucks as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been in the Big Brother house, so I don't know if I would do the same thing or I wouldn't. But I just feel like at this point in the game, you should know. And this point in the show, you should know that you need to have a better read in the game before, like, for you to even think that much. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you should know that people are after you. How are you blindsiding them? Do you not see Christian and Alyssa together? Do you not see Xavier really close to Christian? Like, how is Christian going to blindside Xavier? From where does this come from?
Right. He has a terrible read. He's very cocky. He's full of himself, and he thinks he's a god. And I'm really excited. That's why I wanted to be a blindside so bad, because I'm waiting to see his reaction to him getting voted out. I know the other episode's about to start. We're gonna have to go get off and watch it. But one thing that I did want to mention about this episode, we saw a little bit more of Hannah and how she's reading the house and she's smart about what she's doing.
Right.
Which is.
Do you want to run down the little rankings really quick before we go? I don't know if
you can rank yours. My list stayed the same. I actually didn't do a list because it didn't change.
Okay. Okay.
So you can run yours.
Yeah. So mine is pretty much similar, but there's some that have moved. Brent obviously last. Brittany right before. Hannah moved up a little bit. I think she stayed the same, but still waiting for her to do something more. I know that she's doing, but there's other at this point of the game, it's getting really like Derek F moved down because he's supporting Brittany and he's being loyal to a fault. Christian actually moved up a little bit because I feel like he's still in the game. I think this is like his second competition winning, so that's just something that he's here to play. Azal stayed like pretty much the same at this point. If anything, she's just moving down. Claire pretty much in the middle. Those are like the bottom ones. Now the top ones, it starts with Xavier. Xavier moved up a little bit because of his HOH, and I think that his HOH was good. I think that he did everything he wanted to do, and it's going perfectly for right now. And then Whitney's right up after him. She moved down a little bit because of Derek X and because of Tiffany. Tiffany has slowly moved up the ranks for me. Like she's now fourth when she was towards the bottom at the beginning. So Tiffany is really impressing me for sure, like 1000%. Sarah Beth was in second place. She moved down to third just because my girl is, I'm still rooting for her.
Wow.
I think Alyssa's just amazing.
We're about to fight. How dare you? I know, but how dare you rate Alyssa better than Sarah Beth? Like we're about to fight. Like literally, we're gonna get off this call right now, and we're just gonna fight because you can't do that.
I just did. Sorry.
Wow.
Then of course, King Kyland is on the number one still. So.
Well, I think my list is going to change a little bit now that I'm thinking and hearing your rankings. I do feel like there's a little change, and I might get you back, but we'll see. We still have we have an episode that's about to start, so we'll see if this episode has any effect on my rankings. But we'll see how it goes. It was an episode full of Brent, full of himself. Comedic episode of how he has a total read. A wrong read of the house. So we'll see if he gets evicted. My prediction is Brent to get voted out.
HOH, who do you think HOH really quick? I'm going to go for Alyssa.
I'm going to say Sarah Beth just because she's my favorite.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess we'll tune in and we'll come back later. Till
All
next
right,
time.
till next time.